G'day all, welcome back to Dad versus Son. And we're going to try something a little bit different today. We're going to have a go at Aces of Valor from Legion Wargames. A game designed by Eric von Rossing. World War One aerial combat and ground attack. And the first thing we've got to do is we've got to set up our campaign, which is what we're going to do first. So we've got this wonderful track here for campaign setup. So we're just going to follow that through and go from there. Now, to make life a bit easier, I am going to play the Germans to start with. Now, there's lots of videos out on how to play this, and there's lots of wonderful playthroughs as well. So I'm not going to go into too much of that, and I will, as usual, try not to make too many Dad-isms. But again, no promises. So the first thing we have to decide is the campaign length. So up the top here, we've got the campaign mission track, and we can do a campaign short for 8 missions, 12 for medium, or 16 for long. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with we're going to start with a mission length of short to start with. So we're going to put the mission length on there, and I'm going to use the campaign mission as the marker to go through our missions. So campaign mission 1, blah, 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 blah. So there's that. Second thing we do is place game markers on tracks. So up here, we've got our mission points, our victory points, and our photo mission points. We've got our mission turn track. So that will go up to 24 turns for a mission, right up there, like that. I am using some optional rules. So I've picked 5 optional rules to use. So we're going to use opposing doctrines for British and Germans. So if playing the British, you remove the defensive patrols from the mission deck, and if playing the Germans, you remove the offensive patrols. And there were 3 offensive patrols that I found, so I've removed them. We've got the prevailing wind. The wind generally blew from west to east on the western front, impacting each side's ability to reach friendly lines after engine failures. So when we get to that, we'll do it. So rolling 1 die 3 for glide distance on tables F2 or C9, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing ammunition limits during each mission. Use the ammo marker on the mission track to record how many rounds your flight engages in combat. After each round where at least 1 friendly aircraft fired a gun, move the marker up 1 space and roll 2 die 6. If the result is less than the marker position, the flight is low on ammo, flip the counter, and it may engage in 1 more round of combat and they may not use guns. Now, one of the things that was a bit of a error was this blank counter here was supposed to be the ammo counter. It was simply missed. So I'm using that, and I'm going to put it up here so it can go on the mission turn track. So every time we fire, we move it up, we roll 2 die 6, move it up, and so forth. So we've got that done. The next one I've got is braking off not automatic. So aircraft that want to exit may not always escape. So when either side aircraft attempt to break off, roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the aircraft's initiative rating, it fails to break off and must instead go to action taken. And inferior Entente guns. Many early Entente fighters did not have interrupt gear technology or multiple guns, making them inferior in combat. So if you've seen a lot of World War One Entente aircraft, what they had was usually one Lewis gun or something like that mounted up on the top of the top wing, which they then, once they'd fired that round, that drum of ammo off, they had to ratchet down, stand up in the cockpit, change the drum while holding the stick with their knees, and then ratchet it back up, sit back down, do up their seatbelt, and go fighting again. It was crazy. The other thing that I think a couple of the French tried was to put some sheet metal onto the blades of their props so that the bullets wouldn't chew the wooden prop up, but that didn't work either well. So that's what we're going to do. So that means that the Entente fighters have a 4+ rating for their forward firing machine guns. They don't get 2 hits on a roll of 6. And we reduce mission point gains and losses for destroyed Entente Tier 1 fighters by 1. And we're going to play early war. Simple as that. I think we want to start off easy, and we are going to play. It says to draw, pick nationality, roll on the S1 table, which is here, for your aircraft type. So we could have Tier 1, 2, or 3. We're just going to go for Tier 1 aircraft and go from there, which means that the fighters that the Brits and that get could be, I think, Tier 2, but I'm just going to probably go with Tier 1s on both. I've got the German fighters set up here, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, basically colour-coded in their things by the colour of the aircraft themselves. So we've got blue aircraft for Tier 3, we've got red aircraft for Tier 2, and we've got sort of greeny-brown for Tier 1. I've then put the 2-seaters in here and the bombers in here, and just beside it I've got the German heavy bomber, the Gotha. So that is done. The mission cards are set up here. I'm also playing with the post-mission events, which is an optional rule. I've got all the targets and so forth set out. I haven't punched any of the Allied Entente aircraft at the moment because I don't know who we're fighting against. So when we get to them, I will do that as well. Righto, so pick nationality, determine aircraft, draw 8 random fighters. So here we go. I'm not looking. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, yeah, 8. So who did we get? Let's pull this back and have a look. We have got Rudolph, who is a 0-0, so he's just a beginner. We've got Ernst, who is a damn good air-to-air and not bad air-to-ground. We've got Eric, who is better at air to ground rather than air to air. We have Carl, who's another beginner, green pilot. We've got a slightly more experienced Werner, who's got a 1 for air to air. Another beginner, Heinrich. And then last we have Bruno, who is another beginner. So realistically, for early war period, that's a good draw for us. So our current flight, ready. Let's put those better ones up the top. And our greenies down the bottom. Okay, home airfield. Righto, let's come over this way. We have 3 airfields. I'm going to, because we're not going to be coming over here, I'm going to leave the dice tray here, like that, so you can see it. I've got black and red for the Germans, and I've got blue for the Entente. So rolling for an airfield, it's a, of course you can't see it, a 4, which is airfield B, and airfield B is right here in the middle to the rear. So it takes us a bit further to get to the front. Okay, shuffle mission cards I've already done, and begin first mission with pre-mission phase. Okay, so for a short mission we need to get 21 or more victory points for a superb strategic victory. Over here for a short mission. So the minimum we want is 13 for a minor victory. Okay, so that is that. So we have that. Chuck that over there. And we go to the pre-mission phase. And the first thing is update current mission marker. Well, can't really do that because we're on our first mission. Yay! Draw mission card and place objective markers. Okay, here's our mission card, and it's going to be ground support. 6 fighters conduct attacks on D3 enemy targets in enemy trench sectors A to C. So we're coming up in here somewhere. Use table F8 to determine ground target types. Ignore ground target result during flight event check, and we get mission points per target damage. Okay, so which we're going to take? 6 fighters for ground attack. Oh, sorry, ground support. Okay, I think this is our best ground support aircraft. So we're going to take him. I think we'll take Ernst. We'll take Werner. So that gives us good air-to-air as well. And then we'll take the first 3. Why have I got 7? Ah, there he is. Sorry. I forgot Oswald, poor bastard. He's another greenie. So we'll take those 3 greens with us as well. Like that. Okay, so conduct attacks on D3 ground targets in sectors A to C. Righto. So roll on M1 for weather. And we get a 6, and that is heavy clouds, -2 to photo recon and spotting missions. So come over to the weather table here, and we have heavy clouds. We're not doing arty spotting or photo recon. Sorry, heavy clouds. So it's not going to matter. I'll just leave that one off to the side. Choose aircraft for mission. Yeah, we've done that. Place flight counter on home airfield. We've done that. So we are good to go. So conduct attacks on D3 ground targets. Okay, so when do we do the targets is the thing. We have the flight phase. Right, I've got that. And we have the combat phase. I'm not sure. Okay. D3. Targets. We have one target in each of them. F8. F8. Random ground targets. Enemy trenches. Okay, roll 2 die 6. There's only one target in Sector A. Oops, sorry. 10 is an artillery battery in A. Dum dum da. In Sector B, we have 2 targets. We have an 8, which is entrenched infantry. And we have, 10, another artillery battery. And in C, we have 2 targets as well. Ah, geez. We have 8, which is entrenched infantry again, so makes sense. And we have 7, which is entrenched infantry as well. So we've got 3 lots of infantry, and we have 2 lots of artillery. And that is our current mission. Right. Oh, I can get rid of the pre-mission phase now. Dum-da-da. And that is basically, I believe, our campaign set up. So I'm going to just stop there, and then when we come back, we will go into our, in fact, mission objectives. That should have been. I don't think I was supposed to roll for them yet. I'm not supposed to know until I get there. Sorry, let's get rid of those. Bump, bump, bump. That's cheating, because then you know what you've got before you get there. So we've done that. There's our 3 mission objectives, A, B, and C. And then we'll find out what's there when we get there. So one of the things is that we can't go diagonal. So we've got 24 turns And to get all of these targets and get back here is a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 either way. So that allows us to do a maximum of 8 3 combat round turns, which isn't too bad. But we could end up with 9 targets here, and we could end up with some other nasties turning up as well. So I think I've got that right now. I don't want to work out where have we got? Random ground targets, friendly trenches, We're not going to enemy rear. I'm not going to work out who we're fighting until we get there. I believe. So if enemy aircraft present, choose to determine enemy aircraft nation type. So it will be only British or French, because this is early war, so there's no Americans yet. So British as in Commonwealth. Okay, so I think I've dribbled on long enough. I'll let it go there, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye for now.